Hi there, and welcome to WakeupData. Today we have decided to gather up and give you some insights into product feed optimizations. For that purpose, we decided to invite our customer success manager, Laura, on my right-hand side and ask her some of the most hot questions that we have been getting from you. So, hi, Laura, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We'll start with something a little bit more general to just lay down the basis of our interview today, and that would be why not only having one feed? That's a very hot question we are getting all the time. Can't I just run the same feed on all of my channels?
Yes, this is also a question that we get quite often from our clients. So having only one feed for some or all your marketing channels is possible in certain cases. However, this may result in some complications due to different requirements and policies across different platforms. And because each channel has their own distinct technical requirements and optimization needs, using a single feed could actually lead to limitations and even potential rejections. So we generally recommend using unique product feed for each marketing channels that you are on.
Exactly. So it's from a vital importance that each feed is optimized for the channel that you're sending it to, so that that specific channel algorithm can read the data the proper way, so you can have the best performance possible. Exactly. Thank you, Laura. How does each channel have different requirements? What would you say about that?
So yeah, each marketing channel has unique specifications and policies that the product feed must comply with in order to have a successful product listing and performance. So it's very important that when a client has a product feed, the technical documentations, the requirements and everything needs to be checked beforehand, and the structure and feed optimizations are in accordance with these requirements.
And you, as a customer support and success manager, how do you ensure that each feed complies with these specific requirements?
Yeah, that is a very, very good question. So we have a set of pre-built channel templates that are created based on the technical requirements, technical documentation for each channel. And in this way, we make sure that they all meet the technical requirements. So when it comes to checking the data itself, all the fields, all the values in the feed, we have features like channel review that help us detect any missing data or any wrong values. And that way we can kind of catch these and modify the data or even exclude some products if that's necessary, if that's needed for the feed to be accepted.
Since here at WakeupData, we work with a lot of multi-channel strategies company. What challenges would you say that you face on day-to-day basis, and how do you overcome them?
Yeah, so we often need to optimize feeds, for a client that wants to target both Google Shopping and Facebook with the same product feed. And so while this is technically doable, it's possible because the requirements for Google and Facebook are very similar. There are some challenges that might occur, and one of the challenges that we've met, for example, is managing the images and the image requirements. Like, for example, adding promotional overlays on top of the image or some data from the feed. This is accepted by Google Shopping as any other social media platform, and the images are usually very, visual and more captivating. But this is not something that Google Shopping accepts. So we always need to find the right balance together with the client, like what kind of modifications we can do on the images, but we can often overcome issues like, for example, wrong image size. So we have the possibility to resize the images so that they fit both channels and the requirements of both channels.
Okay, thank you. How do you ensure that a product is updated in the real time or as frequently as necessary? Because, for example, let's say I'm running a shoe store, let's say, for example, and I run out of specific shoe type or some size is not available at the moment. How can I make sure that the visitors on my website are not setting up orders for things I'm out of stock?
That is something that all marketeers are very concerned about making sure of it. And, everyone who's running an e-commerce store. But to ensure that the product feeds are updated in real time or as frequently as needed, once imported into WakeupData, all source feeds are automatically updated once a day. So this is kind of by default. And then the client can set a specific schedule for the update. And ideally, this should be before the source data is updated on the client side, and after the source data is updated on the client side, and right before the feed is fetched by the channel. And this will ensure that all the products, all the data in the feed is updated and is fresh data that is going into the channels. But for more frequent updates, we can also offer hourly updates. So this is actually, the feed can be updated more than once a day, with the hourly updates being the most frequent option available.
Exactly. So we can still avoid these type of hiccups if you just run hourly updates at most.
Yes, absolutely.
I believe that most of people from our audience are relating shopping and e-commerce with Google Shopping, or at least that's how I believe I would relate it to at the beginning before knowing a lot about WakeupData. So why not talking a little bit about that? How do you optimize a product feed when it comes to Google Shopping algorithm, and what unique attributes you would pay the most attention when working with feeds for that specific marketplace?
Yes. We typically focus on attributes like product titles. So Google have some specific like suggestions or best practices. So, for example, depending on the industry of the products, product title should contain additional attributes like color, size, and maybe the brand. Other things we focus on are descriptions. Again, we will have some best practices when it comes to this as well. So they need to be within certain length. They need to contain certain, descriptions of the products. And then the other thing that's they also value a lot is the Google categories. So all the products are placed within the correct Google product categories when we send the data to Google. And of course, product images. So we need to make sure that all these, not only, but at least these key attributes are aligned with Google's requirements and best practices for optimal visibility and performance.
I understand. But I know that one of the main things that browsers first notice whenever they're browsing for a certain product, it's the image asset, what you just mentioned. So I was just wondering, how would you optimize the specific image asset when it comes to Google Shopping?
So we optimize images by ensuring they meet the criteria for size, quality, and also, pixel quality, and the format, the specifications for the format, like if it's 1:1 or, something else. And so each platform has their own requirements for that. But basically, these are the key things we look at. And so these are the things that usually enhance the appeal and the engagement.
Okay, but even if you're doing all of those things that you're mentioning, would it be valuable to run an A/B test?
Yes, absolutely. So, A/B testing, that's a very, familiar concept for all marketing professionals. But basically, A/B testing helps identify the most effective feed optimization. So for instance, we can test different title structures on Google Shopping together with it's something that we usually determine together with the client. And together with them, we decide which title structure needs to higher conversions, higher CTRs, and all that. So we have done some tests where we test different titles, like if they include this or that, and then we see which ones perform better.
How long usually would such an A/B test last? Now I'm just curious.
Well, that really depends on, how many products there are. But we usually recommend testing it for at least, a couple of weeks. And it shouldn't be in the period where it's, the kind of the highest season, because it's also or the lowest season, because then that might also kind of influence the results.
Of course. As we both know, here at WakeupData, we're managing very large companies with tons of SKUs. We're talking about thousands or 100,000s of SKUs. So how do you actually manage in the customer support team to actually optimize and keep a hold of so many product feeds with such large scale?
So this is the idea of using a feed management to basically automate all these, rules and transformations. And the biggest advantage of using feed management tool is to eliminate or minimize at least the manual labor. But basically, we have features such as a transformation engine, for example, where you can apply filters or rules to some products or all products. You can, bulk edit, and you can, in that way, you can update and optimize across thousands of SKUs. But you could decide also, if you want to do modifications on certain categories only. So you're not limited to all or nothing. You could also control that with the rules engine.
We also get a lot this type of question that, okay, I've been running successfully, let's say, Facebook ads. Why not just jumping into Google just to get more conversions? How would you answer that? Should you target different customer types in each and every channel that you're going into?
Well, yes. Ideally, content should be tailored to each specific audience and platform requirements to maximize the impact and the relevance of these ads that you...
Of course. But we're using a lot of technical terms. I assume that also our audience is very familiar with them, but that's nothing into your day-to-day life, because you're getting into way more technical terminology with the clients that you're serving. So how do you manage to communicate such technical feed optimizations to non-technical stakeholders?
Yes. So in our season team, we our aim is to bridge this gap between the technical terminology and the feed optimizations terms and the non-technical stakeholders by having a very interactive demos with them. And we demonstrate how the tool works, and we'd like to also show in practice how the optimized data feed looks like in action. And this just allows the customers to see the modifications per scans. I personally like to show examples of how certain fields look like before and after the optimization, because this is also very visual thing to just display both versions. And in many cases, it's beneficial to focus on the outcomes rather than, the technical process. And we also aim to create an open dialogue with our clients where they feel comfortable asking questions and, just getting to learn the tool. And we have regular ongoing dialogue with key customers when it comes to the feeds and the performance of the feeds. And whenever they have ideas they'd like to imply in the feed, but they are not sure how to do that, then we're always there.
Yeah, I think it's also important to mention that our platform in general has been built by our clients in mind. So we are holding those roundup tables where they share what they need. And a lot of our features are built thanks to you guys who are all the time in contact with our clients. And we just hear from them what would make their life easier, their business function better, their team perform better. So yeah, it's just... yeah.
Yeah, but having this ongoing feedback from the clients, and yeah, this is of key importance for like all of our teams. And this is how we improve the product constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you a lot for your time. We'll try to aim at getting more of those one-to-one interviews with our team, so you get to know us more and also our product, while also sharing a lot of our expert knowledge. And as always, stay connected and take action.